with Top Eliminator qualifying session number 3. Up first is going to be your number 2 and 3 qualifiers. Jim Rossi over here on the near side. Your number 3 qualifier. Paul Taylor over the far side, your number 2 qualifier. Both ran 3 flat yesterday. Couple of breakouts on that one. Jim Rossi 286 over here on the near side. Paul Taylor went 288. So 286 for Jim Rossi, 288 for Paul Taylor. We've seen some really good numbers out of the bracket cars this morning. The track's really coming in good. So these guys will have to back them down for the next qualifying session as they try to get them dialed in for race day tomorrow. So we're in the Top Eliminator 295 index class. 3rd qualifying session of the weekend. Your current number 1 qualifier is Vicky Hall in the Farmer's Twisted Daughter Dragster. She ran 295 with a 1 last night. You're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at the 2018 SoCal Sand Drag Association season opener. We're going to continue with qualifying session number 3 of the weekend for Top Eliminator. It's going to be Bill Peterson in the Villain. Bill ran his personal best with a 3:15 last night. And he'll be facing off with Terry Crawford, Yabba Dabba Doo out of Las Vegas. Terry making his first pass of the weekend. Terry will be over on the far side, and Bill Peterson will be here in the near lane. Goes 297 with a 2 at 116 to go to the number 2 spot. 297 with a 2 for Bill Peterson. Terry Crawford over on the far side goes 292.8. So 297 with a 2. Great run for Bill Peterson and the Villain team. Terry Crawford 292.8. So that'll put him in the show for now at number 8. but he's definitely going to be looking for a number on the plus side of 295 as he comes back for the session later on this afternoon. We're going to clean the track and come back with more top eliminator qualifying. You're watching the National Sand Drag News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. If you have not done so already, be sure to go to goodvibesracing.com and sign up for the Good Vibrations Motorsports free catalog. The 2018 catalogs are in. They're just fresh, hot off the press. They're going to be shipping them out somewhere in mid to late March after the March meet. So be sure to go and sign up to make sure you don't miss out on that. They also have some great new stuff for 2018 that we're going to be posting about as the season goes on. So be sure to go to goodvibesracing.com and like them on Facebook at Good Vibrations Motorsports. So we are going to clean the track and come back with more top eliminator 295 index qualifying. It's like Russ Bailey's in the lanes over there getting ready to go. Not sure who else we have in the lanes, but for this noontime qualifier for top eliminator, kind of more of a race day condition than running late in the evening for these guys. So they a lot of guys like to get a good handle on what happens in the daylight. So neither of the road cars have run yet today. The Fast Fours class will run in the two later sessions, so I believe it's about 3:30, 4 o'clock California time will be the first session for Fast Fours. This session that's running right now will just be top eliminator. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Give a big shout out, David Costa checking in. Our hearts and prayers are with you guys, and hope all is going as well as possible. And definitely we've been thinking about John since last weekend for sure. So hoping for the best. And everybody, be sure to go. If you go back a little ways, there's a GoFundMe account to help out with John's expenses. He was in a horrible incident out in Dumont last weekend, so. Thoughts and prayers with our sand drag families for sure. So, but yeah, we're cleaning the track. We're gonna continue on here with top eliminator qualifying. We had the sportsman bracket cars out earlier. They got their time runs in. We had the sportsman ATV classes. They finished up. Caleb Mings won Motorcycle Sport 1 and Mark Ratliff won Motorcycle Sport 2. Sportsman 1, round 1 is in the lanes right now. So they'll be up right after this top eliminator session. Probably stay live so you guys can watch Sportsman 1 first round. And then we'll take a break. And we'll definitely be back for the next heads up session at, I believe it's 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. Well, Lionel, it's pretty cool out here again today. It's probably in the mid to low 50s right now. The wind, we had a little bit of a breeze, and when the wind kicks up, it gets quite chilly. So the sun's the only thing helping us from freezing out here. So not very warm. Excellent horsepower conditions. I think that's why we've seen some breakouts already this round. So we'll see what Russ Bailey can do. He went 284 last night, so he told me earlier today he's going to back it down quite a bit more and try to get it down the track. Try to hit that 295 number. And he's going to be coming out against Jeff Liston in the Sand Bomber. So Jeff Liston out of Las Vegas will be here in the near lane. Russ Bailey from Lee's Summit, Missouri will be over on the far side. Jeff Liston goes 315 at 104. Russ Bailey 285.0 at 117. So Russ went from an 84 to an 85. Good to see our buddy Pete Shank out here helping out on the Liston car this weekend. Jeff Liston 315, Russ Bailey 285. The Villain ran at 297. He's your number 2 qualifier now. So excellent run for the Villain earlier on. And it looks like we got Dave Huffman over there getting ready to make his pass. Dave only made one pass at top Eliminator yesterday and rolled the beam, so he did not get a time. So he's going to try to put a number on the board here in this session. We've seen some incredible numbers here this top Eliminator qualifying session. A bunch of 280 passes. Russ Bailey 285, Jim Rossi 286, and Paul Taylor in at 288. And then Terry Crawford at 292. So 4 breakout passes. And Bill Peterson with the best run of the round going 297 to jump to the number 2 position. Sounds like the Huffman team's having problems getting the Jeep started back there. It'll fire and then it shuts off. Oh, sounds like it's running now. So it's going to be Dave Huffman in the HMS team. Oh, it's going to be Vicky Hall in the Farmer's Twisted Daughter dragster. In from Bosque Farms, New Mexico. Vicky will be coming over here to the near lane. Vicky Hall's your number 1 qualifier, 295 with a 1. 289 with a 9 at 110. 289 for Vicky Hall. Excellent looking run for her. A little quicker than what she wanted, but 289.9. So Vicky will stay number 1 heading into the next session. She's in with her 295.1 from last night. So now we got a licensing pass here for the April's Dream car. Jim's grandson behind the wheel here. He's made some licensing passes here in the past. And we'll see what he can do here today. Jim trying to transition to crew chief, trying to get his grandson acclimated to the hot rod here. So we'll see what he can do on this pass. Pretty good group of cars here this weekend. Sportsman classes are pretty big. There's probably about 20 in both, it looks like. Maybe more in Sport 2, maybe closer to 25. We had a really good pro gambler last night with 27 cars in it. Kenny Hayes got the win in that. We had a 395 index class with 9 cars in it. Scott Whipple took home the win in that. So a nice clean licensing run there for Jim Hammond's grandson there. So I believe he's going to come back later and try to make a full pass. So it looks like, I'm not sure if Dave Huffman's going to make a pass or not. I see them working over there on the car, trying to make his top Eliminator qualifying run. Well, it looks like we're going to clean the track at least. Anyways, you're watching the National San Diego News live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We're at the 2018 SCSDA season opener. "300-foot sand drag racing" here in Southern California. We want to give a big shout out to all of our daily race coverage sponsors for this season. Southern California OTR Recycling Incorporated, Greg Tunget. Fortunately, Greg doesn't have his race Jeep out this weekend, but we'll see him on track soon enough. We want to thank our friends at Fast Track Construction, Mr. Mark Munoz. Mark's out here helping his buddy Terry Crawford running a top eliminator this weekend. Hopefully we'll see Mark and his hot rod out here at the March event. We gotta give a big shout out to Kevin Williams Racing. Oh, Kevin, he was the wheelie king yesterday. He had the front end way up in the air in his orange Jeep and still broke out. Mark Ratliff from MPC Racing, he's on board for this season as well. Mark was your winner in the Motorcycle Sport 2 class today, and he was runner-up in Motorcycle Sport 1. Hammer Down Racing, Mr. Dennis Wright, he's got the fuel car here this weekend. They had a little bit of an issue with an airline last night, and but he's definitely licking his chops trying to set the record this weekend. The track is there, the air is there, so he's definitely shooting to lower the record this weekend. And I also want to shout out to our friends at Morris Family Racing for all their support over the years. They're getting their funny car ready to go to the March meet next weekend. So we'll definitely, I'm actually heading to the March meet as well to go check it out. So for the first time, so if anybody's heading there, we'll have a good time up in Bakersfield. So tractors are down, just about ready to turn, and they'll be coming back to continue on with, hopefully, the last qualifier for Top Eliminator. It looks like they've got the front clip off of Huffman's Jeep trying to diagnose their issue. They tried to start it a few times and couldn't get it going. So hopefully they'll get their run in. Yesterday's action, Marcus Norris was your number one qualifier in top field. He ran a 2:44. Not the number they were looking for, but it was a good A to B run. I'm sure they're looking forward to trying to get deep into the 220s or possibly a high teen here today. The track's really good right now, so when we see them come out at around 3:30 today, it's going to be game on. Top alcohol, your number one qualifier is Jim Hammond with a 2:55. Adam Rowe leads the Fast Fours, making the trip cross country from Michigan. He ran a 2:73 last night. And Jimmy DePass is your number one qualifier in Pro Mod with a 2:91. Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California, down in the Hemet Valley. You can see the mountains around us. The snow caps have melted for this morning, but I'm sure they'll be back tonight. It's been an unseasonably cool weekend here in Southern California with temperatures in the high temperatures in the mid-50s. So it appears we're going to go to round 1 of Sportsman 1 eliminations. Looks like the Huffman crew is still working over there to try to make their run. The national record for top fuel is a 2.202 right now. So first out, it's going to be Chris Wells coming up here in the near lane in the alcohol-injected buggy out of Washington. Like Chris may be having some problems getting started. Oh, he's fired up now. He's going to be up against his blue blown alcohol Jeep over on the far side. Unsure of the driver name on their entry, but the Jeep's dialed in at 380 and Chris is dialed in at 350. Into the left lane, Chris Wells. Far lane went red. Chris ran 338 on the 350 dial. Next up, Todd Randolph in the near lane. This Jeep is for sale. Beautiful ride here in the near lane. We have Kyle Headley over on the far side. Randolph turned it 063 red. Hensley gets the win over on the far side, 410 at 75 miles an hour. Next up is Ken Peterson in the near lane in the dragster, up against Bob Cambridge over on the far side in the V8 buggy. Bob Cambridge on the far lane takes the win, 382 at 81 miles an hour. Near lane with the brake, with the red light. I'm sorry, red light. Bob Schaefer near lane in the turbocharged Volkswagen buggy. And Wes Johnson Jeep over on the far side. Wes is not behind the wheel. He's got I believe one of his friends behind the wheel. Now at 385 against Bob Schaefer. And the win over to the far lane to the Jeep 389 on a 385 dial. Bob Schaefer pulled the wheelie, went left, had to pedal it, and that was enough for the Jeep to get around. Threw down a pass there, 342 at 93. Killer run for Kermit. Unfortunately, he left too early with a red light, so Mike Forrester gets the win. Mike went hard right towards the wall and smartly lifted, and he'll turn on the win light and go to the next round. So we're here in the middle of round one of the Sportsman 1 class here today at the Soboba Casino, San Jacinto, California for the 2018 SCSDA season opener. Watching the NSDN live stream presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. Be sure to go to goodvibesracing.com. It looks like Dave Huffman's suiting up. He's going to get his top Eliminator qualifying run in here after the track's groomed. And then we'll continue on with Sportsman 1 round 1 eliminations. Oh, 6-cylinder category. What is the record? It really isn't a record for 6 cylinders over here in the United States. You know, the quickest 6 cylinders I can think of are all in dragsters. The two-side dragster used to run out here on the West Coast, ran in the 240 range. That was basically a nitro V8 Hemi with 2 cylinders cut out. But yeah, that's the quickest 6-cylinder car I'm aware of. That would be great to see your project come from Puerto Rico to the U.S. That would be awesome to see. So we are getting some racing in here this weekend at the Soboba Casino in San Jacinto, California. Like I said, we're in the middle of Sportsman 1 eliminations. We'll stay live through Sport 1. We'll get Dave Huffman's qualifying pass in for top eliminator. We'll get to see that, and then we'll go off the live stream for a little bit, and we'll come back for late round eliminations in sportsman categories. We had some really good photos posted up. Be sure to go scroll through our NSDN Facebook page feed and check out some of the wheelie shots from yesterday. Scott Whipple stood it up on end and one pass, and then came back and ended up winning the 395 index class last night. Mike Record had some big wheelies. Kevin Williams, he did quite the same. Stood it up pretty good and still broke out in the 395 class. There's a really good action sequence of Kathy Brown's wild ride from yesterday in her blown alcohol funny Jeep. She got it up on 2 wheels and did a phenomenal job of saving it. So lots of action this weekend here in Southern California. So we're finishing up the track grooming, getting ready to send the next cars down the track. Well, it looks like the Huffman team is not going to make the pass. And we're going to go to Sportsman 1. Finish up this first round of Sportsman 1. Greg Johnson getting some TV time walking by in front of the camera. Good.
Exercise program.
J-Dub on his exercise program. Check that out. Joey Weaver. So we're going to finish up round 1 here in Sportsman 1. It's going to be Mike Record here in the near lane up against Russ Kennel over in the Maximum Diesel truck on the far side. Mike Record's got the front end strapped down now. He pulled some huge wheelies yesterday in this orange Leary Minor Motorsports built Jeep. Mike Record takes the win, 424 on the 4-flat dial, and move on to round 2. Next up is going to be George Amos over here in the near lane, up against the Islas Racing dragster over on the far side. I believe Michelle Islas is driving today. They rotate through a number of drivers in that dragster. Dialed in at 367, Islas is in at 357. That one goes to George Amos, 373 on the 67 dial. He had the starting line edge. That was a close one down at the stripe. He almost gave it back. Islas was 58 on a 57. But George Amos moves on. Joe Simmons with the buy run over on the far side in the going postal Jeep. 388's the dial. And Simmons goes 389 with a 5 on the 88 dial. So a nice run. And Joe Simmons will go to round 2. Well, looks like they're going to groom the track and come back with Sportsman 2 eliminations. We're going to take a break from the live stream here for a little bit. And we'll be back for the heads-up qualifying session later on this afternoon. As well as we'll be back live for Sportsman Sport 1 and Sport 2 semifinals and final rounds. So thank you for watching the National Stand Drag News live stream. Presented by Good Vibrations Motorsports. We'll be back probably about an hour or so for late round Sportsman class eliminations. Thanks, guys.